Welcome back. And today we are jumping into one of Michigan's most talked about cities, that is Rochester Hills. Now let's jump into this video and see why this has become one of the hotspots for professionals, families, and even investors. All right, so this is going to be a little bit different content that I made of home tours or model tours or city vlog. I want to talk about the streets and things to do in Rochester Hills. And I'll even talk about some things that I do with my children, right? My two little girls when I come here. So maybe that may even show you how, kid friendly this area is as well. But just want to show you if you're looking to say move here or you're, somewhere local and just kind of want to know the streets and places to go, this will be that type of video. All right. So we're just going to take a little dive into Rochester. So Rochester Hills. See, I just did it. Let me explain to you the difference here. So you see there's a city called Rochester, and then there's Rochester Hills. And I want to just discuss this like real quick. Just give me like 10 seconds and I can break this down. So Rochester is a much smaller city. It has about 13,000 residents. It's kind of like the more small town feel. Rochester Hills is like 76,000 people that live there, more suburban feel, even better school districts and yada, 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 right? So there's a big difference between them. So I wanted to talk about that because a lot of locals, we just say Rochester. Hey, I'm going to Rochester, or hey, I'm going to downtown Rochester. But Rochester Hills actually does not have a downtown scene, but we use downtown Rochester as that area. So I just wanted to just talk about that real quick before we get diving into. And before I forget, I'm showing you guys, all around Rochester Hills. Again, I'm a real estate agent. My name is Jay Jones. If you're looking to buy or sell like anywhere in Oakland County or Macomb County or Wayne, my information is in the description below. So just make sure you either give me a call, text. There's a form as well pinned to the top of the chat. All right, so let's talk about where is Rochester Hills. And I want to make this video just in case, again, if someone is looking to locate here and just wants to know about it. So just bear with me, if you're from the area. But let's talk about, where it's at and then your boundaries, right? Your boundary areas. So it is just north. It's in northern Oakland County, and it's just north of Troy, but it's also just west of Shelby Township. Where you see Utica, that's really Shelby Township. And as you can see, you could take this freeway right here, which is M59, and you can run right into Rochester Hills. You run right into it. And then also one of your main freeways, your main freeway to get to and from everywhere is going to be 75. So 75 is right here, and you could take this to Detroit, which we'll do something there in a second. And if you want to go to, say, Petoskey, or you're going to go up north to Caseville, you could take 75 pretty much all the way there or just about there. So that's going to be your main freeway to get you to and from. Now, your boundary areas, what actually makes up Rochester Hills? Well, let's talk about our north and south boundary. Our north boundary is going to be Dutton Road. That's the north side. The south side, and not Chicago, south side is West Boulevard. Sorry, West South Boulevard. West South Boulevard is your boundary. And then your east and west, this is going to be Adams over here. And then this is going to be DeQuinder. So this makes up Rochester Hills. And it actually has about 37,000 residents. So quite a big space. And we're going to cover as much as we can on this channel. But I want to show you the main streets that you'll pretty much hear about and where you can kind of get to and from if you're looking to work or play anywhere outside of there. Okay. All right. So let's talk about maybe 4 of the famous streets that I think that are very, very important for you to know about if you're looking to move into Rochester, or maybe you know about it. But, let's do as Romans do, right? Or whatever it is, whatever the saying is. But anyway, So I know I've mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but just thought I'd mention it again. I know we talked about a lot, but there's 75 right here. So this is going to be your main freeway. So let's just say you want to go down to downtown Detroit, whether you want to just go out, have a good date night or so. It's going to take you about 32 minutes. So that's not too bad. I do a lot of driving. So 32 minutes isn't bad, 26 miles. And you're going to take 75 right into downtown Detroit. You're going to pass through all the cities and you're going to go right into downtown Detroit right off of 75. So, if you are thinking, how long will it take for me to get there? Not long at all, and when you're on the freeway, 75 runs really, really good, so you'll be there in no time. The only problem with 75, and I have to say this, is during rush hour time. If you're coming back from work, it starts getting pretty congested really fast. In the mornings, that 7, 8 o'clock, like if you don't hit it at the right time, you're gonna be in traffic. And it's not horrible traffic, but it slows it. You're slowing down. You're stopping and going. Look at some of the streets, and one of the streets that comes to mind is Rochester Road. That's the very first street that comes to mind, and here it is right here, Rochester Road. This actually runs through Rochester right here, so it can run through downtown Rochester. And if I'm not mistaken, it goes down to like just south of 16 Mile. And actually, this is where I picked up my car, Rochester Hills Jeep Dodge, right? Well, it's a pretty good dealership. And actually, right there is Home Depot, that actually takes me to my second street. So there's Rochester, very significant. And then there's Avon. And so the reason why Avon Road is very important is because east and west, it goes right through Rochester. So if you just want to just kind of cut through Rochester really quickly, that is how you can do it, right? And when I went to the dealership the one time on Avon Road in Rochester, right over here was the Home Depot. I remember going there. So a lot of things are actually right off of South Rochester Road. I mean, you're going to pretty much find everything. And then again, you're going to go into downtown Rochester. Another street that comes to mind is Livernois. So Livernois is just parallel to Rochester Road. So that's a significant street as well. Let me talk about one more thing. There's Walton. Walton Road is just by the universities and everything. So there's Walton Road, if you want to be by, Oakland University and all that. But let me show you this street for my folks who like to come here from maybe Macomb or whatever. Tenkin Street, right? I come here from Macomb County. And the reason why is because I could take 25 Mile and I can cut literally right into here. So I could take 25 Mile and I could just cut right into here and get on Tenkin Road, or 26 Mile and come right down into here. So whenever I want to just kind of get out of the way of like downtown Rochester and the crazy, whether it's got traffic or just a lot of things going on, I'll get on Tenkin Road and I'll just drive this until I get on 25 or something. And then 25, I can get to, Mound, or 25 in Shelby Road. But I like Tenkin Road because once I get here, once you get to a certain spot, it's just nothing, right? And so that's another significant street as well. So just wanted to cover just those four streets: Rochester Road, Tenkin Road, Walton, and Livernois. And also, Avon. Avon's very important too. So just wanted to just talk about that. If you are looking to move to this area, those are going to be kind of your streets a lot of your locals are going to talk about a lot. Something that's really, really cool, which is called the Village of Rochester Hills. I believe this is North Adams and Walton Road. Now, fellas, we are in trouble because if you didn't think that Rochester Hills has shopping, you're wrong, right? They have a lot of shopping, and there's a place called the Village of Rochester Hills that has some pretty nice stores in here. So let's say you guys are, I don't know, want to go on a date. Well, there's Q's and Muir, right? If you like seafood, there's a seafood place here. I've been to the PF Chang's here. It's been a long time, but I've been to the PF Chang's over there. But they have, American Eagle. There is even a place that gets me in trouble because my wife loves it and my little girl loves it. And there's a Lululemon there, right? So if you want to know if they've got a big box store or a significant store, well, Lululemon has decided to come to Rochester Hills. What else we got? Sephora, what else we got in here? Jose Bank. So that's a nice little casual spot. I love to get some of my shirts there. And they have some pretty good suits. Jose Bank. There's Eddie Bauer. Of course, there's a Starbucks. That's kind of a given. But yeah, I mean, this is a really nice place. And there's a Whole Foods place. If you want to go on a date night, you could definitely go here. There's definitely some nice places. But in Christmas, like during Christmas time, they put the lights on all of the trees and all the stores, and it looks like it just came out of Home Alone. Like it looks absolutely beautiful there. So the Village of Rochester Hills is definitely a place to take a look at. Every time I pass by it, I forget that it's there, because it's not one of those things where, someone that's, say in Troy is like, they're like, oh, I'm going to go to Somerset, right? And then someone from Macomb is like, hey, I'm going to go to Partridge Creek. But Rochester Hills has their own, like I said, it's like a little outdoor mall, and it's really, really nice. There's quite some stores there where you can shop for a nice amount of time and eat. They even have the Jagged Fork, which is right here, if you want a good brunch spot. So they have some nice little spots there where you can spend some time. So take a look at the Village of Rochester Hills for those that are looking to move to the area. This right here will probably sell you. Again, when I pass by it, if I ever have to pass by Oakland University or whatever, I go, man, this is a nice spot. And this is in Rochester Hills. So take a look at it. Again, it's on Walton Road and Adams, right? Walton Road, South Adams. All right. So let's talk about why the locals love it here, right? I'm going to show you one of the things that I like to do with my family, like I mentioned in the beginning. But the locals love it here because there's so much to do, from Paint Creek Trail for some outdoor activities to, of course, your shopping, but even boutique shopping. And there's restaurants all throughout Rochester Hills. Let's go ahead and look at Paint Creek Trail real quick, and then I'll show you the one thing I love doing with my kids when I come here. Let's talk about this pretty unique outdoors trail. It's called Paint Creek Trail in Rochester Hills. That is 8.9 miles long. Wow. It runs from Rochester into Lake Orion. And they say if you walk it, most people can walk this trail in 3 to 4 hours. They say the difficulty is about easy to medium. I guess that just depends on your difficulty level. But there's a lot of things here. They say picnic tables. And again, if you're into hiking and biking and any of the outdoors activities, you can actually go to Paint Creek Trail. And depending on the weather, you can even ski here. So that is pretty impressive to have in this city. Another hidden gem, again, that would be very, very nice. I mean, hey, maybe on the weekend you can get your bike and you can go to Paint Creek Trail. And it's open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Fun fact is that it's one of the best cold water trout streams in the Detroit area. So I mentioned to you guys, I like to bring my kids here. And one of the places that they love to come to, other than the Rochester Playhouse, which I'll show you guys probably a little later, is Yates Cider Mill. This place is great. So not only does Rochester Hills have an outdoor shopping mall, they have, Paint Creek Trail, they also have a cider mill. So let's take a quick look at that real quick. It's right here. So hopefully my computer acts right today. But there's Yates. It's right here on like 23 Mile. 23 Mile does this weird little thing right here where it kind of cuts off, but it's 23 Mile and DeQuinder right there. And there's Yates Cider Mill. So Yates, here it is right there. Yates Cider Mill. Again, I take them there. Really good, really good donuts. Awesome cider. And if you go a little bit into here, you get to go down Yates Trail and eat your donuts and stuff and kind of get a good scenery. They also have like right in here, right in there is where they're going to have their, the goats and all that stuff there. So I usually get my donuts, and then there's like this long thing right here you see is where people kind of sit along and eat their donuts and stuff, but you have to fight the bees that are there. So that might be, a little annoying. But Yates Cider Mill is definitely a great place to go to summertime and of course fall time. This place is jumping, but it's a nice place to go to. So just another little place to go to. And then again, this is on DeQuinder and 23, so it's like right, you can actually get into Shelby Township from here. So this is really close to Macomb. But that's another cool thing that Rochester Hills has. And again, this is why people love this city, because it has so many things kind of jam packed here that a lot of other cities do not have. All right, so let me show you another place that you can take your children to. Now, this is not Rochester, but it's a very, very good place in downtown. It's not in Rochester Hills, it's in downtown Rochester. It's called Rochester Play. Um, it's a really great place. Take your kids there for a couple hours, use their energy. If you take, and I'll show you how to get there. Oh, if you take Rochester Road, which is right there, it turns into Main Street, which turns into downtown Rochester. And you take Second Street, and then Second Street. Let me go ahead and zoom down some more. Not trying to make you guys dizzy, but you go to Second Street and then go down a little bit, and then you'll go to the Rochester Playhouse. And I take my children here whenever I can, usually on the weekends or something. They absolutely love it. You may even catch me walking in one of those playscapes. They do a really cool thing around the New Year's Eve time. And what they do around New Year's Eve is they have a 12 p.m. Balloon drop. So the kids play all the way till 12 o'clock, and then they drop balloons and all cool stuff. So it's another nice place that you can take your kids to. Again, not in Rochester Hills, but literally right there. So again, whether you want to go to Yates Cider Mill, maybe Paint Creek Trail, you can even go to Rochester Playhouse, with your kids, and of course the library. They got the library there, which we haven't covered yet. But again, really nice. So again, that's South Rochester Road, right? That's your famous road here, and just cuts right into it. Let me come over here. And let's just say, once you leave Rochester Playhouse, right? Once you leave Rochester Playhouse, you may need some place to eat. And I want to show you this place right here, just to the left of it, when you leave Rochester Playhouse. There is one of my favorite places, which is right here on 3rd Street. So you can take Rochester Road and then come over here to the Rochester Brunch House. This is a very famous spot. It's in downtown Rochester, but again, it's another Rochester Hills spot as well. People love it here. Rochester Brunch House has really good food, so you got to catch them before they close. But another cool, spot here, right next door to Rochester Hills. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Again, just to show you, all the fun stuff you can do around this place. And I haven't even touched on the real estate yet and all that, but just what you can do in this city, there's so much, right? Whether you want to go places to eat, you can go up and down Rochester Road and find something. If you need some activities to do, you can do that. So let's cover something else here. So the reason why I showed a little bit of downtown Rochester is because it's very hard not to talk about downtown Rochester when you're talking about Rochester Hills because they're right next to each other. And I kind of explained the difference earlier between, one is a very, very small town, more historic area. That's Rochester. And then Rochester Hills is more of your suburban feel. They have more school districts, 37,000 people compared to like 13,000. There's a whole lot going on in the Rochester Hills area. So, if there's a debate between which one, it just depends on what you're looking for. But when we're talking about Rochester Hills, we're talking about, communities that were, 19 built in the 1970s, which has like $1 million homes, gated communities. You know, it's much different out in Rochester Hills than it is in the Rochester area. Let me talk about one of my favorite places to come to when I come over here. It's actually right here on Auburn Road in South Rochester. I'll show you two places. One is a place to eat, which is actually right here. Glad it came up. Alex is of Rochester. But I'll show you here. So right here at this first intersection, there's a lot going on here. I usually come here to the Panera Bread that's right here whenever I just need some Wi-Fi, just something real quick. But they have a Target, right? A Target right there, right? Or Target if you're just, a regular regular goer. There's a Myers right across the street as well. And then of course there's a Starbucks on the other corner. And if I'm not mistaken, this right here is Qdoba. Or yeah, I think it's Qdoba right there. I think. But you're also going to see a lot of dealerships up and down South Rochester. So, you know, I mentioned earlier a Dodge dealership, and then there's a GM dealership closer to downtown Rochester. And also, you have a Ford dealership here. So, if you really want something to do or you're looking for something to get into, just kind of drive up and down or drive up and down Rochester Road. But this little intersection right here is pretty jumping, right? Usually has a whole lot going on. So if you're looking for something, whether you're looking to go to Target, there's a Five Below. There's even more stores along this, right? J. Crew. I usually go here when I want something nice to, pick up. But there's a whole lot going on in this plaza. So take a look at this, right? There's an Olive Garden there. But then again, like I said, it's just this little corridor or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty nice. There's, the Ford dealership, and this is just right up and down Rochester Road. And again, if you take Rochester Road and we come out a little bit more, because I don't want to make you guys too dizzy, we can take this all the way into downtown Rochester, but it's one of those main streets that just cuts right into where you want to go, right? Right into where you want to go. So just wanted to show you guys that as well. But I also wanted to show you Alex's. I definitely forgot to show you guys Alex's of Rochester. It's going to be right in here. There we go. Right down there. So if you're looking for a nice, like, kind of family friendly, cheap bill, but pretty good vibe, take a look at Alex's of Rochester. Right off of Rochester Road, right before Auburn. So before this little crazy intersection. This right here is pretty nice. My family they actually brought me here, and whenever I have the kids, I like to go there, get some fish and chips, something pretty quick. But that's it. So if you're looking for something to do, just drive up and down Rochester Road. You'll find pretty much everything you need to. And before I forget, I'm showing you guys, all around Rochester Hills. Again, I'm a real estate agent. My name is Jay Jones. If you're looking to buy or sell like anywhere in Oakland County or Macomb County or Wayne, my information is in the description below. So just make sure you either give me a call, text. There's a form as well pinned to the top of the chat, or pinned to the top of the comments. You can fill that form out and I'll call you later. Let's get back into this video. All right, guys. So with that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I wanted to show you as much as I can about Rochester Hills and just kind of the cool things that it has to offer. Please like, please comment. You know, I love your feedback through this. Also, if you're looking to buy or sell anywhere in these areas, please give me a call. All of my information is in the description below, and I even pinned it to the top of the comment section. If you want to fill out the form, I'll contact you at a later time, or you can call or text me anytime. I speak to my subscribers, and I really mean that. They give me a call, and I love talking to them. I love seeing where they're at, whether they're looking to buy next year or they just say, hey, I like your videos. I like being able to actually talk to you guys. So just give me a call or text or email, and I love to reach out to you. All right. I think that's really it for this video. If you guys want more of this, again, just drop it in the description below. But just wanted to show you guys, you know, everything that is going on in the Rochester Hills area. All right. You guys be blessed, and I'll see you on the next one.